Welcome back to the deep dive. Ever wish you could, just grab the core essence of a huge market trend without digging through tons of data? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving deep, really deep, into the global marketing strategy agency service market. We've got our hands on this really comprehensive global report. It's packed with details, forecasts, goes all the way out to 2033. Our mission, basically, is to pull out the key nuggets for you, help you understand the big forces, what it all means. Okay, let's unpack this. What's the immediate big picture?
Well, what's fascinating here is just how vital this market is now. In today's world, everything's digital, right? It's complex. So every company, big or small, they absolutely need a solid strategy to connect with people. And with the world getting more linked up, but also kind of fragmented online, the need for expert marketing help isn't just growing. It's really exploding. Understanding this growth is not just for people in the industry. It tells you a lot about how business is changing, global shifts. The overall story, though, it's definitely strong growth, really robust.
Robust feels like an understatement when you see the actual numbers. I mean, just look at the global figures. In 2021, the market revenue was just over $7 billion, $792.77 million to be exact. Then look ahead, just 2025 is projected near $9.4 billion, almost $9,384 million. But here's the real kicker. By 2033, the forecast, almost $16.5 billion, $16,428 million. It works out to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 7.25%. Several surge. Well, that's a powerful surge.
Yeah. It really is. And if we dig into what's behind those numbers, the report's conclusion nails it. It's basically two huge forces pushing this upward trend globally. First, you've got the fast growth in emerging economies. Second, this relentless digital transformation. It's everywhere. It's not just about having a website anymore. Think AI personalization, social media splitting into tiny niches, massive amounts of data. A lot of companies, frankly, they just can't handle that complexity in-house. So they need agencies. And in developing areas, businesses are often skipping older tech, jumping straight into this hyper-digital world. That creates huge demand for smart marketing strategies right from the get-go.
Okay, so the global picture is definitely booming. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But where's the action concentrated? Are some regions really pulling ahead? North America, for instance.
No.
Still a giant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over $2.4 billion back in 2021. That's 2,432 million. And it's expected to more than double, hitting nearly $5.4 billion by 2033. 5,388 million. That's a CAGR of almost 7%, 6.851%. Healthy. The U.S. obviously takes the biggest slice, growing from $1.9 billion to $4.2 billion, about 6.7% CAGR. But Canada report calls it out as being on a fast track. Its growth is significantly quicker. CAGR over 8.4%. Goes from $367 million to almost $970 million. Mexico's growing too, but much more moderately, around 2.8% CAGR.
Yeah, North America's lead makes sense. Established digital environment, lots of competition, quick to adopt new tech, that all fuels it. And Europe is right there following closely behind North America in terms of market size. They started just under $2 billion in 2021, $1,993 million, and are projected to hit over $4.4 billion by 2033. 402 million. The CAGR there is also strong, 6.827%, very close to North America's overall rate.
And within Europe, who's leading the pack?
Well, the UK shows really impressive growth, actually. Its AGR is over 7.3%, going from about $259 million to over $607 million. Germany and France are also very strong contenders. Germany heading towards $800 million, France towards $600 million by 2033, and Italy and Spain are making significant contributions as well. These are mature markets, deep advertising roots, constant need for strategy.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Because, yeah, North America, Europe, they're dominant. But Asia Pacific, wow, it's described as accelerating. Yeah. Set to more than double its market size. From under $1.9 billion in 2021, $1,872 million, to over $4.6 billion by 2033, $4,665 million. That's a CAGR of nearly 8%. 7.905%. That's faster than North America or Europe overall.
That's significant acceleration.
Right. And China, as you'd expect, is leading that charge. 8.1% CAGR, $642 million, growing to over $1.6 billion. But you really need to keep your eye on India. It's catching up quickly, the report says. It has the highest CAGR mentioned anywhere in the report, a massive 9.076%.
Incredible rate.
Yeah. From just under $300 million to over $840 million. Plus, you see really steady, strong growth above 7% CAGR in Japan, South Korea, Australia, too.
And Taiwan's mentioned, going from $71 million to about $137 million.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's just so clear why Asia Pacific is becoming such a powerhouse for these agencies. You got like massive populations, incredibly fast digital uptake, often mobile first, skipping the desktop phase almost, and a huge growing middle class that's digitally savvy and hungry for new stuff.
A perfect store, almost.
Exactly. It's
Right.
this potent mix creating just immense diverse demand for really sophisticated marketing. So it's fertile ground for agencies. The scale and the speed of digital adoption there,
Yeah.
it's just unlike anywhere else, really, presents huge opportunities, but also unique challenges, cultural nuances to figure out. Right. So beyond these established giants and the accelerating Asia-Pacific region, the report also highlights some other frontiers, regions showing really promising, strong growth. South America, for example, set to more than double, from about $418 million in 2021 to over $1 billion by 2033. 1,002 million. That's a CAGR close to 7.5%. Brazil and Argentina noted for strong growth. Argentina actually over 8% CAGR.
Interesting.
Then there's the Middle East, expanding at an impressive 8.2% CAGR, about $177 million, heading towards $460 million by 2033. And Saudi Arabia and the UAE are really pushing that. The report mentions strong double-digit growth potential, driven by diversification efforts, I suppose.
Yeah, those economic visions they have are ambitious.
Africa, too, shows incredible promise, surging from just under $200 million in 21 to over $500 million by 2033. $509 million. That's nearly an 8% CAGR overall for the region. Nigeria and South Africa are big contributors. South Africa, in particular, has a very high KGR, 9%.
Yeah. This really broad growth across all these, let's call them emerging frontiers, it does raise an important question. What are the unique opportunities, but also the unique challenges these places present for marketing agencies? It's not like walking into North America or Europe. You've got wildly different cultures, sometimes patchy digital infrastructure, consumer habits that are, still changing really fast.
Right, much less predictable, perhaps?
Potentially. And what these different growth rates tell us about global economic shifts is quite profound, actually. We're seeing this kind of decentralization, economic power spreading out, and the demand for advanced services like marketing strategy is popping up everywhere. It's like a democratization of access to these sophisticated business tools.
So what does this all mean? What's the core takeaway here for you listening? This deep dive really hammers it home. The marketing strategy agency service market is, well, it's on a seriously dynamic upward path, globally, everywhere. This isn't some fleeting thing, some bubble. It looks like sustained expansion, driven by really fundamental changes in how businesses work and connect with us. So for you, this incredible growth story basically means the need for smart strategic marketing thinking. It's just going to get more intense in pretty much every corner of the world.
Exactly. The report's conclusion puts it perfectly. Emerging economies and digital transformation are the engines here. And that's driving sustained, diverse growth right through 2033. It's not just more ad spend. It's about a fundamental shift in how businesses navigate these complex, data-heavy landscapes. So given this huge exponential demand for strategic guidance, maybe take a moment to think about how the role of business itself might be changing and what skills, really core skills, will be most vital for success in this much more competitive, digitally driven global future.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really unpacking a fascinating evolution in the business world. We're talking about the marketing strategy agency market. Our mission, well, as always, it's to cut through the noise and figure out what's really driving the big shifts here. For this deep dive, our source material comes from some seriously detailed research into the marketing strategy agency service market. So it gives us a pretty comprehensive look at where things stand right now and, where they might be heading.
And this couldn't be more relevant for you, honestly. In today's market, which is just getting more and more saturated, companies face this huge pressure to actually stand out. And that's exactly where these marketing strategy agencies come in, right? They're critical partners. Businesses need them to craft compelling brand stories, define sharp market positioning, and tailor customer segmentation strategies that, genuinely cut through all that noise. Ultimately, it's about elevating customer engagement and boosting that long-term loyalty. For B2B, for B2C, really across the board.
Okay, so we know the digital shift is the huge backdrop here. But what does that massive transformation actually look like for an agency day to day? I mean, beyond just saying there are more channels.
Well, what's really interesting is that it's not just about managing those channels anymore. It's about becoming the architect of the client's whole digital ecosystem strategy. Yeah, the digital transformation wave, that's kind of a given, But what the research really highlights is how agencies are pivoting. They're moving from just executing campaigns to tackling these really crucial, often overlooked areas like full funnel attribution. That's still a massive blind spot for most in-house teams.
That makes total sense. They're providing that missing piece, that cohesion. But speaking of shifts, the research points to a really interesting change in who's hiring these agencies. It's not just the giants anymore, is it?
Exactly. No, the really surprising development is the rise of startups and small to medium enterprises, SMEs, as major clients. Sure, these businesses often lack big in-house teams, yes, but maybe more critically, they need speed. And they need specialized expertise for those really key growth phases. Think out a startup, maybe fresh off a Series A round. They need to quickly figure out their go-to-market strategy, nail down their pricing, and just acquire customers fast. Agencies become pretty indispensable then.
Right, especially in those really fast-paced market conditions. But of course, where there's growth, there are always hurdles. The research mentions this intense pressure clients put on agencies for, well, visible and measurable returns. So if an agency doesn't deliver on those key performance indicators, KPIs like engagement, lead conversion, maybe revenue generation, they could lose the client pretty quickly. It sounds like agencies are under this constant pressure to innovate, adapt, and, show tangible value. How sustainable is that really given the pace?
That brings up a really important question. How do agencies keep up? I mean, the challenge of channel fragmentation and just rapidly evolving tech it's immense. We're not just talking about a new social media platform popping up. It's the constant stream of new formats, new data privacy rules, new trends. It demands that agencies continuously invest in skills, in new tools, in specialized people. And that inevitably drives up their operating costs a lot. It also fuels this constant talent war for niche expertise.
And yeah, let's not forget the shadow of economic uncertainty hanging over things. The research shows marketing budgets are often first on the chopping block during downturns. We've seen how quickly a client, say in the travel industry, facing sudden cuts, might just pull back from a long-term retainer. That forces agencies to maybe scramble for project work or risk some serious revenue gaps. It creates really unpredictable revenue streams, doesn't it? Especially for agencies relying on those longer-term contracts.
It really does. It adds another layer of complexity.
Okay, but despite those challenges, which are very real, the future for the marketing strategy agency service market actually looks pretty vibrant. We're seeing some powerful trends emerge. Top of the list seems to be data-driven strategy and performance marketing. Agencies are leveraging platforms like Google Analytics, HubSpot, CDPs, customer data platforms, not just for basic reporting, but to build these unified, actionable customer profiles.
And that's absolutely critical. It allows them to map these complex cross-channel customer journeys. They can pinpoint the precise micro moments where engagement actually drives conversion. That's something much more intricate than just, hyper-targeting. Clients increasingly value that analytical precision, that transparency. They want to see the numbers, sure, but also understand how they translate into real results. This really leads to stronger relationships, better trust, and ultimately better outcomes for everybody involved.
Yeah, that makes sense. Another big development that seems to be shaking things up is the rise of niche, vertical-specific agencies. So we're talking about agencies that only do, say, fintech or SaaS, e-commerce, healthcare. It feels like a big shift from the generalist agencies of the past.
Absolutely. And if you zoom out a bit, the value proposition there is pretty clear. Businesses prefer partnering with experts. Experts who truly get their unique regulatory environment, their competitive landscape, their operational quirks. This specialization leads to higher impact strategies. And it can even help streamline compliance, which is obviously crucial in those highly regulated industries.
Definitely. And finally, we can't talk about the future without touching on the truly transformative impact of AI and automation. These aren't just buzzwords anymore, are they? They seem to be fundamentally reshaping how agencies work.
Oh, absolutely. And what's really fascinating here is how these tools are empowering agencies to go way beyond just efficiency gains. We're seeing things like automated content personalization, but at scale, predictive analytics that can forecast market opportunities or find hyper-niche consumer segments you wouldn't see otherwise, smart A/B testing that optimizes campaigns with incredible speed, and incredibly precise customer segmentation that, frankly, human analysis just can't match. So this lets agencies scale faster, deliver even more tailored strategies, and significantly cut down on manual work, all while boosting campaign effectiveness and, like I said, uncovering opportunities that were maybe invisible before.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it really feels clear that the marketing strategy agency service market is Well, incredibly dynamic.
Yeah.
And absolutely essential in this age of digital complexity. It's not just a nice to have anymore, is it?
Not at all. It's a must-have for so many businesses. And to summarize, yeah, challenges around ROI, channel fragmentation, economic pressures, those aren't going away. They'll persist. But the agencies that really prioritize data-driven strategies, deep specialization, and smart automation, they seem uniquely well-positioned to thrive. They're the ones building for what's next.
So given all these significant shifts we've talked about and the crucial role of external expertise, maybe the question for you to ponder is this. What does this deep dive suggest about the evolving skill sets or strategic partnerships you might need to prioritize, either in your own professional landscape or maybe for your business in the coming years? Something to think about until our next deep dive.